It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Cats and Cosby on 77 WABC. Breaking news, WABC.
And a lot of new details coming out here on Cats and Cosby about this second assassination attempt against former President Trump. And boy, it looks worse and worse. We're now finding out that the guy was lying in wait basically for 12 hours right there on the fence line outside of the golf course in Florida. So many questions tonight. We're going to be covering it all. And joining us now is Judge Richard Weinberg. We also have George Venizelos, of course, who was head of the FBI in New York and also an agent for 24 years, and also former Congressman Peter King. What an incredible moment. And boy, oh boy, John, as we're sitting here talking, what an amazing, extraordinary, and also horrible breakdown, I think, the fact that somebody got that close to the president, again, the former president.
Well, I just landed a half hour ago, and I'm here. And I was listening to Bo Schnerdley, and he had some great points. How can the Secret Service miss him?
Yes, he was sitting there 12 hours, we're just finding out.
Well, how can he miss him when they shot at him?
Yes, that's another thing, too.
Number two, Bo Schnerdley, I'm repeating Bo Schnerdley's story. Number two, that the only reason they caught him is somebody took a picture of his car and license plate.
Yeah, and guess what, John? It gets worse. That was actually a stolen license plate. It wasn't attached to that vehicle. It was somebody who saw him running out, and it turns out took a picture,
gave it to the cops.
Yes,
and it was the cops that caught him. It wasn't the Secret Service. It wasn't. It was the cops that caught him on their own.
And guess what, John?
And Bo Schnerdley. I'm just repeating. Bo
go ahead.
Bo said that if the cops didn't catch him in that Palm Beach County, the one above Palm Beach, then he still might be missing.
Right, and it was on I-95 where they stopped him. Thank God. By the way, he didn't open fire on a busy I-95 interstate. The other thing, George, you know what? He hits an important point. John hits an important point that he was recounting about Bo. The fact that the guy was in it had a stolen license plate. It was just an eyewitness. What it says to me also is this was premeditated. And nobody knew at that point that President Trump was going.
More to this. The other stories I hear, he was out rooting, hiring Afghanistanis to go fight the war in Ukraine. So who is he working for?
Whose side is this guy on?
Who is he working for? Zelensky?
There's no evidence of that.
Some intelligence agency? I have no idea.
No, I think what this guy is one-class nut job.
Yeah, no. You are swallowing that too fast. I don't.
I'm with
the
Peter
story.
King. No.
The story. Yeah, you could be with Peter King already. He still believes January 6th.
I'm right on that.
You're not right on that.
You and Trump can go by yourself.
Let's skip January 6th. Let's talk about what it
let's skip January 6th because the Supreme Court kicked out a lot of those cases. So go ahead.
Whoa. That has nothing to do with it all. That's totally off the base.
I know you don't agree with January 6th, but let's focus on this.
What I'm saying about January 6th, Peter, that there's more to the story than we know about.
What are a lot of stories?
Yeah, there's more to the story than we know about. And with the former speaker saying what she said on tape.
Which means nothing.
It means nothing, but it means more than we knew before.
Absolutely. Let's go to this one because this is a biggie here. Where I agree also, and here's where I have a problem. And I'm curious, George Venizelos, with all your experience, here we are. The guy is sitting there for 12 hours outside. I'm glad the Secret Service guy got him. Thank goodness, right? Shot at him. Obviously, as John points out,
he missed,
but he did shoot 4 to 6 shots. And maybe that's what triggered the witness to suddenly get a shot, or who knows?
I can't see that well, but I would have shot him.
Yeah, you would have, John. My bet would have been on you.
Was he in plain sight or was he hidden? That's the thing.
Well, apparently there's brush.
He just saw a muzzle. They saw a muzzle through the fence.
You are the Secret Service. You just have a shooting 2 months ago of the former president, you better cover every area and you better have it from the sky.
I'm not saying
Give
that.
me a break, 12 hours.
No, I'm talking about missing the shot. I'm talking about missing the shot. I'm not talking about anything else.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, and I'm talking about the fact he was sitting there 12 hours according to his cell phone data, which is what we're getting. So he was waiting there, I can tell you, it was from like 1 a.m. on Sunday morning till 1:30 a.m. How could that be? How could that be?
I know it's being reported all over the news, this 12-hour thing, but, where does that information come from? That's what I don't want to say.
They say it came from the cell phone, George.
Let's see.
They said, but George, your point's well taken. But just because it's on a cell phone doesn't mean he was physically there.
No, but the fact that he was there is disturbing enough. Right. I mean, I don't care if he was there 10 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours.
And you know what troubles me, you guys? I'm going back to the license plate because it shows this guy had pre-planning, that he's sitting there. He had the ceramic plates. If you see the way it's set up, it looks like he was ready for shots to come at him, and he was ready for a firing range. I mean, the way they're set up, it's like he's protecting himself and in position.
Rita, before you take the congresswoman that's on hold right now, I was on Sid Show this morning from St. Pete. And I said that there's got to be more to the story than we know about, and I think we have to wait it out.
Okay.
But there's the advice. I said the advice I'm giving President Trump. If President Trump gets elected, the Iranians tend to lose hundreds of billions of dollars. Hundreds of billions. What's another bullet to the Iranians? They're going to try to get him. Number one.
I agree with that.
Number two, then also there's a lot of people that have done a lot of wrong things in the United States of America, from Washington to New York to Georgia. They don't want President Trump elected.
And there's another issue here, by the way. You have the whole rhetoric, the hatred, the Trump hatred, and the escalating rhetoric that he's a threat to democracy, and that encourages some nut jobs.
Absolutely. When you have that kind of rhetoric and you got a loose screw,
exactly.
Absolutely.
That's no different than terrorists, lone wolves.
Yes.
You have somebody sitting in the basement looking for a purpose in life. They buy into this rhetoric. They feel they could save the world because of how they're thinking. And they go out and they try stupid things like this.
Guess what? Thank goodness it wasn't an Iranian sharpshooter this time. Because guess what? That guy wouldn't have missed the shot.
I don't think if the Iranians, they would have. They're good.
I'm just saying.
Good.
I'm not blaming the Iranians.
They wouldn't have missed anything.
That's what I'm saying to you, George. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Rita, one more thing. My advice to President Trump is do what President Biden did, or Vice President at the time. Go hide in the basement someplace. And he's not going to do it.
No, he's not going to do it. I know.
Hide in the basement sometime. How's the words go? Hunker down.
Yeah, hunker down.
You know why? If he gets elected November 5th, he no longer will be in danger of getting assassinated because they get somebody worse, Vance.
Yeah, and the other problem,
but he has to get elected first.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You're saying they're worried. You mean worse because they're worried. Those folks who are worried about Trump coming in,
from Iran's perspective,
right. I want our audience to understand where he's coming from.
They will fear Vance more than they fear Trump.
Okay. Right, that's an interesting point.
The American people get awfully mad, and the American people will do what happened. Look what George W. Bush did. After 9/11, he went in there to Iraq. Whether Iraq was guilty or not guilty,
he went to the wrong country.
He went to the. I agree with you. He went to Iraq. He went to Afghanistan.
He went everywhere. Yeah.
I'm telling the people, the terrorists of foreign shores, beware of Americans being mad.
Yes. Well, we haven't got, and sadly, I hate to say it, our president today was disgraceful. They were asking him a question today, John, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm glad he's okay. Let's move on, basically. It was terrible. We need strong leadership, to your point.
Janine Pirro here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history, physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Pirro for your free Janine Pirro Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit, or call 800-965-8004. 800-965-8004 now to receive a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.